Hi, everyone. So my name is Angela, and I am so excited to be here with you all today. Thank you for coming. I am the author of Llewellyn's little book of unicorns, which is about connecting with your authentic self and your inner magic. And I also have upcoming The Secret Psychic, which, if you can see from the cover, matches the painting behind me. So this painting actually I did as a reflection after my sister passed away, and it was about a vision that I had immediately after I learned that she had passed away, which was very soon after she had passed. So I had this vision. I won't go into the details of that story because it is in the book and I don't want to spoil the natural reading of the story. So just know that that is in there. The cover is very intentional and that's all involved. So the book, I'm so excited for this book to come out. It basically breaks down into 3 main topics. So you'll learn how to embrace the magic of your subtle intuition. You'll also learn about the natural form of spirit communication and how this is a very natural process. It's something that we all experience and have access to, how you can personally engage with and strengthen that connection with those loved ones in spirit. And then it also, obviously from the title, The Secret Psychic, it is about your hidden spiritual life, how you can explore it and nurture it, even when you are practicing and studying these things in private and don't feel like you can share it with other people around you. But at the same time, it's just also amazing and you feel like shouting from the rooftops, like all of this personal development and experience and the things that you're learning about. So it dives a lot into how to explore all of these things when it's something that you're holding personally close to you and not sharing with others about. So I personally feel very, very blessed to be immersed in a world of like-minded people where I can share this side of myself. But this was secret for me for a very long time. And the book actually came about after I was talking with a friend who was going through a lot of the same stages of spiritual evolution that I had gone through years before. And that theme of secrecy was very prominent in both of our stories. And I realized that if this was true of the two of us, and she was paralleling so many of these stages that I had gone through, the questions that I had, the concerns, I realized that many, many other people must be going through the same experience. And I wanted to be able to offer insights and support that I really needed 20 plus years ago. And so this book was born. And it has over 20 practices in it. There's an appendix of common symbols and their meanings. And I also include a questionnaire. I call it the Secret Psychic Questionnaire that you can go through and answer yourself. And then you can compare your answers to various professional intuitives that I interviewed with those same questions. And so you can see what their insights are, what their experience has been. And for me, this is so powerful because when you're doing this in secret, you feel like you're the only one and you feel isolated. But when you can see the matched experience of people who are doing this professionally and they're out in the open, it's amazing to see, like, oh my gosh, what this person went through at their beginning stages is the same as where I'm at right now. It's very freeing and kind of amazing to see that. So I'm very excited. I could go on and on about describing the book, but I'm not going to do that because today I want to focus on tips to effectively receive and understand the psychic messages that are coming to you. So a starting point for this is to learn how to be still and to clear your mind and tune into your personal energy so that you can hear your own inner guidance. So that's step one. And we are going to dive in right now and do a practice where you can tune in yourself. And this is going to be kind of brief, just based on our time. So this is a tool you can take away and expand on in your own practice and do for longer periods if you want to. So I'm going to have you settle in and close your eyes and take a deep breath in and let it out. On your next breath, feel it go all the way down to your belly and allow your breath to expand your belly before you let it out. Take another deep breath in and let it out. And as you continue breathing deeply, feel your body begin to relax. So breathe in, breathe out. Feel just the muscles loosening, any tension dripping away. And now tune into your energy and pay attention to whether it feels as though it's reaching out externally from you. For example, while you're trying to relax, are you listening for your kids, or are you anticipating someone needing your attention? Or are you feeling like a part of you is trying to time your practice? Or are you thinking of the next task you have to do? So if you find these types of reaching out energies, notice them and see yourself bringing that energy back into yourself. So you can see it like an octopus with all of its outstretched limbs, and one by one you pull each arm back into yourself until all of your energy is centered. So you can sit in the stillness and continue deep breathing. Now step 2, now that your energy is focused internally, you can tune in and find your yes and no. So with your eyes still closed, ask, what is my intuitive sign for yes? You might see or hear or feel whatever that is. And now ask, what is my intuitive sign for no? To confirm those, now say, my name is, and say your correct name, and tune in and see which of those signs pops up. Now repeat again, but this time use a name that isn't actually your name and see which sign pops up. Now you can open your eyes and jot down whatever you received so that you remember it and you kind of solidify it in your mind. And as an example, I have used this when asking, is this item beneficial for me? So if I'm holding an item, I'll ask, is this item beneficial for me? And in my mind, I see a lotus flower. And if it is beneficial for me, I'll see it closed and it will open its petals wide. If it's not beneficial, I'll see it open and the petals will close. So that's my yes and no. You might see the word yes or see the word no, like signs, or maybe you see green or red, or maybe you hear the words. So it can be different for everyone, very individual. So that's kind of a tool you can use in your back pocket. You can tune in, ask questions based on that yes or no symbology. And when we're receiving messages, knowing whether you've interpreted a message correctly can be challenging. especially at first. There's really no set rule for message interpretation because it's a learned language and it's individual to each person. So an interpretation of one symbol might mean one thing to me and something else to you. And so the meanings of messages can end up being kind of subjective. So there are indicators that you can watch for to help confirm whether you have understood a message correctly. This can include physical and emotional sensations of like feeling chills, or maybe you just are smiling hugely and you can't stop smiling because it just, the knowingness in you makes you really happy. It kind of confirms that that message is true. You might be laughing, your mouth might be wide open with a sense of surprise. You could get that aha moment where it just feels so dramatic. Like clarity comes to you with a sense of excitement and recognition that this is the meaning, and you know that that's the meaning of whatever the message is. So that aha moment. Synchronicities that align with the message can also act as confirmation, where if you had a sense of what the message meant, noticing synchronicities can confirm that you are in fact interpreting it correctly. You could also get external confirmation. So maybe you're sharing a message that you've been getting, you're sharing it with someone else, and that person confirms that, yes, that is actually true. Or you could be getting external confirmation. Maybe you check to see if the meaning that you are assuming, you check it in like a dream dictionary and it's the same meaning. So that can be a form of confirmation as well. If you aren't sure on whether or not you're getting a message correct, one thing that you can do as a practice is to vocalize or write down a message. So if you aren't sure, you speak it out loud as you're getting it. So you can kind of prompt and start just speaking the message that you've gotten, and then just continue on speaking as you align with that energy, speaking out loud and continuing to get more information. You'll feel the energy that you'll kind of sink in with it. And it can be surprising what else comes through once you have synced up. So you can do this journaling as well. And both of these practice, especially to me, the vocalizing, it helps you move the energy so that more information can drop in. So it kind of like gets you out of the way. It gets you out of your mental state and just allows more information to come through. And then, of course, now you have the tune in yes-no practice, where you can check in, ask if you've interpreted the message correctly, and see your yes or no. When you're in doubt, you are allowed to ask for more information. So if in doubt, ask spirit. Remember that, because for some reason it's really easy to forget, but this is not a multiple choice quiz. You aren't on a game show, and you don't need to guess. You are allowed to ask for help. So you can make a request, a direct request for clarification. And then you can tune in to see what those in spirit respond back with, and keep asking questions if you're still confused. Once you think you've gotten the message, ask if you've gotten it right, and tune in and see whether the response is your yes or your no. With all of this, there is a potential for delay in understanding your message. So it seems really straightforward. We open ourselves up to receive a message. We receive it and we understand it. But the truth is that the process isn't always so linear. And sometimes messages just come slowly, or they need to be processed over time before you fully understand it. And like all of a sudden it can just be like, click. Oh my God, that's what that means. And you just know, where before it was just kind of murky and unsure. There can be different reasons for why a message might be, the understanding might be delayed. You might be learning a new symbol. So say you see a pumpkin and you have never used pumpkin as a symbol before. And in whatever intuitive message you're getting, you learn that this represents October. And so moving forward now, you will have this as a symbol in your toolbox for a representation of time, of October. But the first time you get that, if you don't click with it right away, it's going to be kind of clunky figuring out like what is this all about? So that can kind of delay things. You might also just need more information in order to understand. So you can connect with spirit, ask those questions for clarification. Another reason could be that the meaning might not be for you to know. It might be none of your business to know, and it might just be information for you to share with someone else. Even if you don't quite understand it, it's for them to know and not for you to know. A really good example of this, I was doing a reading for someone and she was pregnant, and I didn't know it, and she was newly pregnant, and so she hadn't announced it to anyone. So really this was none of my business. But I was getting like fuzzy blankets and this feeling of being really cozy and snuggled in, really warm. And there was a sense of preparation for something new. And I was throwing out all of these things. I had no idea. I could not figure out what it meant. And she was smiling like she knew right away what it meant. And eventually she did tell me, but in the moment I had absolutely no idea. And it was none of my business, but it was confirmation for her. So that can be one reason why you don't understand. It's not for you. Another reason why messages, the understanding can be delayed is that you might unintentionally be resisting receiving that message. So sometimes we hold grief, you can heal, but it never totally goes away. And if you are getting a message from someone in spirit, even if it's not a new passing, like it could be a decade or more, feeling that spirit's energy, it can re-trigger that grief and bring it all to the surface. And sometimes we just aren't in the frame of mind to deal with that. We don't have the energy, we aren't in that headspace, and it's just not the right time. Especially if it's a newer passing, sometimes we just absolutely can't handle any more than what we're already dealing with. And so we resist that connection as a form of self-protection. Even though we might want, with every fiber in our beings, to connect with this person and receive a message. Like there's that part of us that is self-protecting. And that's okay. And a lot of times, if you just give it time, time does heal, and making that connection might come easier in the future. Let's see, I'm going to check time now. We are at 18 minutes. I am going to take Q&A at the end, but before that, I'm going to do one more practice with you. This is going to be brief. So normally I would say do this at least for 5 to 10 minutes, if not longer, if you like meditating. But I'll just give you kind of the basics of how this goes, and you can practice along to get an idea of it. So this practice is a meditation to download your intuitive voicemails. And so a lot of times, especially when we're starting out and learning how to use our intuitive and psychic abilities, if we don't have good boundaries and we don't have good understanding of how to utilize and manage those abilities, we can end up getting a lot of breakthroughs. So for example, I was at a store in the checkout line one time, and when I got up to the cashier, I heard a full sentence right before she actually spoke it. And she had absolutely no idea that this happened, but I just like stood there and I was shocked. And that was just an example of like my psychic ability being like, hey, I'm here, use me. Just a breakthrough. It's like an overflow of intuitive energy, because I wasn't showing my intuition that there are proper moments when you can reveal yourself. And I am going to give you the time and space to share your messages, or where I'm going to actually download and listen to all of my voicemails that I have waiting for me. So if you don't do that, you're likely to end up with these overflow messages and incidences. So in order to practice this, you're going to close your eyes again. So just settle in and take a couple of deep breaths. And allow your body to relax. Once you feel calm and centered, all of your energy centered in again, tune in and ask your intuition to reveal any messages that it's holding for you. And allow those details just to rise naturally in your awareness. Notice what you're seeing. Notice what you're hearing or feeling. Remember to keep breathing deeply. Relax your body. Breathe in, breathe out. If you've strayed to other thoughts, come back and ask your intuition again to show any messages that it has for you. After you receive those messages, you can end the meditation. And the same way you would take down a phone message, now you can jot down the key details of anything that came to you. And in the end, you want to write down the statement, I will only intuitively receive information that is for my highest good. And this helps to train your intuition to surface, like I said, at appropriate times, and to confirm that those messages are only meant for you. They're not hearing the stray cashier's thoughts. And so that is another tool that you can have in your back pocket for learning to listen to and receive the messages from your intuition. So that is my presentation. If you do end up ordering The Secret Psychic, make sure to go to my website, and I'll share the link. And go to the page for that book. You'll see it there. I have books right at the top of the menu. And register to receive free bonus material. So anyone who pre-orders the book, you can receive a bonus gift package that includes tip sheets for psychic development. There's audio meditations and video classes. There's a $50 discount for an online mediumship development class with Sherry Dillard. It's this package that I and some of the contributors to the book have all put together, and I'm really excited for you guys to be able to get it for free. So you can just head to my website for that. So now I will take questions. And there is my web link that I just entered into the comments. And there's a little bit of a lag for the comments before they start. There they go. And Moon Chica says, thank you, great talk. You're very welcome. Beth is asking, is everyone psychic? Yes, 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 yes. Everyone has these abilities. This is so natural. We've just become so disconnected. Like when you pay attention to animals, I always give elephants as an example because they are so empathic and emotionally intelligent. There have been telepathic instances between animals and psychic awareness. This is something that I write about in the book too, where animals obviously have telepathic and these psychic abilities to connect with and communicate with one another. And we definitely have this too. We've just sort of, like we disconnected with nature, we've also sort of disconnected with this side of ourselves as well. So if we tune in, we can definitely learn how to redevelop. Someone's asking me how old I am. I am 38. Lisa is asking if there's ever a time when you should open your intuition to receive messages for other people. If they ask you for messages, then it's fine if you feel comfortable doing that. You never want to just, if you receive a message, you never want to just blindly walk up to someone and be like, hey, I have a psychic message for you. That's not ethical and can be really, really intrusive. And if other people are asking you for messages and you don't feel quite comfortable with it, it's fine to say no as well. Someone is asking, do chakra activation exercises help sorry, it skipped up, help to develop psychic abilities? Yes. The more that you connect with and start tuning in and feeling your own energy, the more you'll recognize when messages are coming through your energy, and also when you are connecting with spirit energy or spirit guides. You start to become very familiar with your own energy, what that feels like versus the energy of others. And with chakra activation type exercises, you're working very energetically and learning to tune into your own energy. So that can be very important. Jared is asking, do you have any tips for working and living around those who may not understand our interests or abilities, etc., while we're developing? I would say it's fine to not share with them if they don't seem receptive, because if they just aren't interested in it, sharing with them, forcing it, can just be like shooting yourself in the foot. You're just going to get negative feedback, and that's not building up your energy and helping you to develop. So I would say try to find like-minded people and just share in those spaces. There's so much available online now if you aren't able to find like in-person things. There's Facebook groups and online classes and just so much. There's this kind of thing. Lots of resources are out there. And so kind of channel those interests into those areas. I'm wondering what I may have for an ability. Sorry, it skipped again. Everything is very faint hints for me. So when you're first learning to tune into psychic ability, things can be really foggy and come kind of slowly. So what you want to learn to do is raise your energy and try to get out of your head, which can be really difficult. So any meditation practice is probably number one. That is going to help you calm and center and focus in on your own energy instead of getting lost in the chaos. So meditation and stillness would be number one tip there. What if you really did not get a sign for yes or no? I would say try it again and just keep trying it. It might not have been the right moment for you. You might do a guided meditation that you really like before diving into the yes-no practice. And if you're trying to force a visual, like don't force it, allow whatever comes to come. It might not be a visual, it might be a feeling or something that you hear or something else. Someone is asking, oh, one more question, okay. Jericho is asking, is there a difference between receiving messages from the deceased and the living? So when you receive messages from the deceased versus if you are hearing things from the living, I think is what you're asking. To me, hearing things from the living is more, it feels like my own thoughts a lot of the time, where when I'm hearing things from spirit, it's more intentional, I guess, and like there's a blending with their energy. So it's subtle, but I do get into that in the book, so you can explore that more there. So I'm sorry, if I'm able to continue in the chat, I'll continue typing out answers to questions here. Otherwise, you can find me at my website and send me questions through there as well. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram. My handle is Angela A. Wicks. So thank you, everyone. Thank you.